Anybody here from North America by chance? Nobody. Crickets, right? Just me? Okay, I'm the only one in the room that's probably jet lagged? Okay, just making that clear, okay. And Fiona did a great job. I think her presentation is a great segue to what I'm gonna talk about. It's also gonna offer you guys a different perspective on how to run meta ads, okay? Because a lot of people have different ways of running it, different budgets, different tactics. There's a strategy I'm gonna dive in today that can keep you at an optimal budget and make it scalable. And we're talking about lead generation. So as it was alluded to, I'm a failed rock star turned digital marketer. Years ago, I had a band in Japan. I was a front man to the band. I loved creating music. I loved performing the music. But what I loved more than that was marketing the music. And that was my epiphany to give up the rock stardom and turn into a digital marketer. So I started a social media agency back in 2016 called Fresh Crowd. And I merged that with an SEO company to form what's called Merged Media. So we're an SEO company combined with a social media agency based just out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Anybody know where that place is? Where's that? Nice, nice. It's surprising when I do that back at home, nobody knows where that is. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think this is a really good example of what the meta feed looks like. Instagram and Facebook, it's this. Nothing's recognizable. All you're doing when you're sifting through your social media, your Facebook and Instagram, is you're looking for something familiar. And if it's not familiar, chances are you're on to that next piece of content all day long, sifting through content. If you're walking through Shinjuku Square, which I've spent some time in, it's hard to recognize anybody. But if you do recognize somebody, you're going to stop, you're going to pay attention, and you're going to say, "What's up?" Anybody know who that is? No baseball fans in the room, eh? Joe DiMaggio, okay? Joe DiMaggio is a Hall of Fame center fielder, was a Hall of Fame center fielder for the New York Yankees, still has the longest active hitting streak at 56 games, was once married to Marilyn Monroe. Joe DiMaggio was a very likable guy. Everybody liked him, everybody knew him. So it only made sense for Mr. Coffee to pick him up. And with his face behind the brand, they ended up selling 1 million drip coffee makers when they launched that product back in the 70s. This guy didn't play baseball since the 50s. There's like 20-year lapse there, but he was a known, liked, and trusted guy. This is why he sold 1 million of those drip coffee makers. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, they didn't have social media back then. Anybody out there can be Joe DiMaggio with the likes of social media. And that's where you need to take advantage of it. So the question you need to ask yourself for your brand, for your company, for your clients, is who is that Joltin' Joe who's going to represent your brand? And if it's not you, if you're not comfortable getting in front of the camera, well, then you got to go find somebody who is. You find that brand ambassador, because somebody needs to be that known, like, and trusted source for the brand. Case in point, we run a lot of lead magnets. I did a presentation at AdWorld a couple years ago about lead magnets and the best lead magnet topics. Got picked up by the Journal of Brand Strategy as well. But we've tested hundreds upon hundreds of lead magnets. And one thing we see every single time is the more lead magnets you target towards a certain audience, the increase in CTR you're going to see. Okay? And the reason for that, you can see, I don't know if you can see this far, but you're looking at anywhere from 0.57% click-through rate to a 1.54 click-through rate. All the way up to that third lead magnet targeting that same audience, 2.93. And the reason for that? Familiarity. People are becoming familiar. They're getting to know your brand. They're seeing it time and time again. To Fiona's point, doesn't mean you need to watermark everything. Definitely don't watermark anything. You definitely don't want to do that, but you want to have a face that's familiar, and that's the goal here. So we run a lot of ads on different platforms throughout the world. We work with a lot of events. Specifically, this one was an event, an affiliate conference that took place in Lisbon. We were testing multiple ads on multiple platforms, and we see this every single time. Comparing Facebook, Instagram, sorry, the formatting's a bit off there. Facebook and Instagram, you're looking at a CPC of 0.03 cents, okay? And this is in USD. CTR, 4.87, CPM, 1.78. TikTok, CPC is 11 cents, CTR 0.48, CPM 0.53. LinkedIn, over here, $2.11 CPC, CPM 11.15, 0.53 CTR. What does that mean? It means there's a massive pool of people on Facebook, and we're going to spend our money on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, Meta is where we're going to be playing. TikTok, we tested a lot of TikTok ads. It doesn't have the amount of people that Meta has yet. So that's why you're obviously seeing a higher CPC. LinkedIn, if you have a lot of money, spend some ads on LinkedIn. Shut off your ads on Friday at 5 p.m. No, because nobody's on LinkedIn on weekends. They'll take your money though. They'll gladly take your money. Okay? But for this reason, maybe if I'm here next year, we might be talking about TikTok. Who knows? But right now, we're going to talk about Meta. So I run this at every single conference I go to. I run an ad. All right? I don't spend a lot on it, but I run an ad. I think there's about 150 to 200 people here. Spend $20 on an ad targeting the World Trade Center. I did not know much about the World Trade Center. Good percentage of people are probably upstairs. But that's okay. Because what this is just increasing the familiarity. Okay? But I do encourage anybody here that frequents conferences or goes to conferences frequently, run some ads, especially if you're a sponsor. Because I see it so much where you see these big $5,000 booths at a conference, and these people are not running a Facebook or Instagram ad to target the people at that venue. Really good opportunity. And I would agree with Fiona, never boost. But in this case here, you're going to want to boost. Okay? And the reason for that is because it's such a small pool of people that are at that venue, you want to optimize for awareness. Okay? The average price per ad decreased by 18% in Q3 2022. That's insane. You would think that it would be increasing, but it's the average price per ad is decreasing. What that tells me is a lot of marketers are getting frustrated with Facebook, having account issues. Whatever it is, they're losing faith in it, maybe spending their money in other areas and other platforms. But that's a great stat for marketers like myself and a lot of you guys. That's awesome. It's a great opportunity and a great opportunity for our clients to get cheaper ads. There is an elephant in the room here when we talk about meta advertising, okay? And that elephant in the room, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking it when I talk about lead generation and Facebook. Facebook leads suck. They suck. They're not good. We run a lot of ads for real estate agents. They want people buying or selling homes right now. I want to buy or sell a home. Okay, that's cool, but the leads are not going to be good, okay? These are people that are not actively online looking for what you have to offer. There is zero intent. These are not Google ads. These are Facebook ads. You have to increase that intent. You have to increase that behavior or increase that awareness. So why do they suck? And this it's funny. I thought you copied my slides here. I'm like, wait a second, Fiona, that took my slide. No, I swear I didn't take your slide. Okay. Why do Facebook ads suck? There's low trust. There's no trust behind a Facebook ad. Like I said, no intent, low intent behind a Facebook user. They're not looking for what you have to offer. And poor follow-up. If you get a Facebook lead, come off of Facebook and enter into your CRM, your sales team's going to get very frustrated with you because the follow-up is terrible. They're not answering the phone. A lot of times they don't know who you are. They're not expecting your call. Speed to lead does not work. It doesn't matter. But that's okay, because we're going to talk about why they don't suck. Very targeted reach. We don't need to get into that. Fiona hit on that really well. I love Facebook advertising more than every other platform. I think it's great. Low friction. It makes it very simple for somebody to become a Facebook lead. Click, click, submit. You have their contact information. Good thing and a bad thing. Creates low quality, but you get high quantity. And then the dynamic options. Love testing different variations of dynamic ads, feeding the algorithm to see what's going to work best. Okay, always do this for testing a campaign to figure out what's working. Now here we're going to get a little technical, okay? 7 steps to campaign launch. Just give me a second, I'm just going to get water. Now this is how we run our lead generation at a scalable cost. First of all, we're optimizing for leads. We're going to tell Facebook, put our ads in front of people that have a tendency to become a lead. That's the key thing here, right? Like when we talk about boosting, Facebook will put your ad in front of everybody when you optimize for awareness. It doesn't matter who they are, where they are, what they do. Facebook's going to get your ad out there and they'll take your money. Traffic, you want clicks? Tell Facebook, I want people that have a tendency to click on content and go to a website. Ideally, you want to optimize for landing page views, not clicks, because if you optimize for clicks, you're going to get people that click on content and typically bounce. A lot of times when you optimize for clicks, you're probably getting a lot of bots. That's why it's important to optimize for landing page views. Engagement, don't need to go over that. We're just going to get right into the leads, okay? We're going to optimize for leads. We're going to set our daily budget at $1,000 per day. Don't go anywhere. We're not going to spend $1,000 a day. If they want to spend $1,000 a day, I'll be happy that they do that, but I don't want to spend $1,000 a day necessarily. But you are going to set it at that daily budget. Then you're going to want to set that bid cap super, super low. I'm talking like $2, okay? Now, you're going to have to micromanage this a little bit in the beginning, okay? You're going to say, I want to spend $1,000 a day. I want to spend $2 per lead. Chances are you're not going to get any traffic. That's okay, though. We'll get to that in a second. Create the Insta form. Make it very simple. The purpose of our campaign is we want to get people off of social media at the lowest possible cost. So we're not going to add a ton of pre-qualifying questions. We just want to collect that contact information, okay? Then what we're going to do is duplicate ad sets for multiple audiences. You want to have about 6 to 8 different audiences, interest-based, some lookalikes, but try to make those audience sizes around the same amount, okay? And then edit rule for the ad set cap. So you're going to make sure you go to manage rules within Facebook and set it so it's maybe like $10. So you don't have Facebook spending all of your budget on one ad set. They know where to cap it, okay? Then be patient. This is the key. So I said you set your budget at $2 a day, and you're going to wait for about 2 hours. 2 hours later, you're going to go back, see if you have any traffic. If not, increase it to $3. Increase it to $4. Keep doing this every hour until you start seeing a little bit of impressions and traffic trickle through. Once you start seeing that, you're getting close. Increase your budget one more time. And then when you start seeing a steady flow, a couple leads coming in here and there, that's where you want to keep your cap. You keep that bid cap there. Don't leave it. You can set and forget this campaign until it saturates, okay? But that is how you're going to find that optimal bid cost for your lead. Remember, keeping that budget at $1,000 a day. Like I said, if Facebook wants to take my $1,000 a day and give me $3 leads, okay. I'm okay with that. I might have to hire a sales team, but I'm okay with that. So geo-optimization, this is a key as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this. We're running ads for a summit in Bucharest, which I'm heading to right after this show tonight. And we're running all the ads for the conference. But as you're running these campaigns targeting an international audience, you obviously have to tier the countries, right? Because if you put all of Europe, well, guess where all your traffic's coming from? It's probably going to come from Bosnia, probably going to come from Romania, it's probably going to come from Turkey. So you want to make sure that you have different tiers and you're setting up those budgets correctly, and so you're not spending all of your money on a low budget tier, okay? So we had to do that several times here. You do have to kind of micro those campaigns initially because you got to figure out where all the traffic's coming from. In this case here, Italy's sending a lot of traffic, but we weren't too mad about that because we were getting good conversions from Italy, okay? Spain and UK, as you can see, all these tier 1 countries, these are great countries for the conference. But other countries we had to obviously omit, okay? Now, 4 C's to selling via Meta. How are we doing on time? Okay, cool. Content, credibility, conversation, conversion. These are the tips we live by every single day. So here are some ads that I ran for our own agency, targeting business owners, entrepreneurs, marketing directors, and basically this copy was tested amongst 5 other different copies. This one worked the best. These videos, I did 10 different videos. This one here is me on a beach in Turks and Caicos wearing an Everton jersey. I actually targeted Everton fans with that. It didn't do so well. But, and then you have random ones, me wearing glasses, different shirts. Everything's different, right? Because I want to find out which ad is going to generate me the lowest cost lead. And it's hilarious how the result you will get within probably about a day or two. Because Facebook will serve your ads to one of these, and then it'll just continue to serve it, right? So that's a key thing as well. This ad got all of the traffic, okay? All the traffic went to that ad there. But what'll happen here is that's kind of like bait, right? You're going to attract a certain type of lead with a certain type of creative, right? So if you see leads coming in here from a certain type of creative, and you have calls with those leads, and they're not good leads, well, then you need to reverse engineer the whole process to understand, well, why is that lead opting in the first place? And that's something as well, right, to keep in mind with Facebook ads is A lot of people like freebies. And those freebie people might not be the best clients. So just keep that in mind. Again, this goes back to the lead magnet conversation, where lead magnets, I think, are a great way to drive in new leads, but always be cognizant of the type of topic that you're throwing out there to the audience. I really like to look at it as bait on the end of your lure and you're fishing, okay? Because that bait is going to attract a certain type of lead. Now, here's some content that we're running for the summit. So a lot of these speakers, we're trying to get in front of a cold audience as much as possible, okay? Because we want to build up that ad frequency, build up that familiarity, okay? And then you'll see here credibility. Now, this is where we get into the retargeting, which is the most important part of the campaign, is you already got their attention. Now, how do you stay top of mind with them, okay? Some great content for retargeting. I have a podcast. I encourage you guys to check it out. But a lot of podcast content, we record every episode. That goes straight into our retargeting audiences to build up that credibility. Me speaking on a stage in Israel, great content for a retargeting audience, building up that credibility again. And then we got an award for top 500 B2B businesses or leaders in Canada. Great content, testimonials, all that type of stuff, success stories, great content for retargeting, okay? And again, now with the summit, we started using a lot of the content from the speakers in terms of what they're talking about, really getting into the nitty-gritty. A lot of times, people seeing this ad, a cold audience seeing this ad, would probably swipe right past it. But we're retargeting people with these ads. We're giving them more information on the conference, more credibility on the conference. Stefan here talking about how wicked the conference is. So this is great retargeting ads. So with the credibility, you're increasing your credibility. You're getting better retargeting audiences. Right? So if your retargeting audience is too small, you're going to be spending too much money, so you do need to have a bigger retargeting audience. So over time, these campaigns mature, they get better. Higher ad frequency, how many times people are seeing your ads, the higher that gets, the better it gets. You don't want to get it too high, though, because you're going to start annoying people, so it's always good to refresh in your ads. And lower cost per warm lead. Here's a great example of this in action. We're running a white paper campaign for it's a dental tax company. When we ran that campaign, December 2022, our cold audiences, we were getting leads at 1410. Oh, sorry, 844 for cold leads. The warm leads were a crazy 1410. Very niche audience we're targeting. We're targeting dentists, okay? So don't be like, whoa, that's a high lead cost. It is, but it's dentists. It's a niche. And here we got next month, we're increasing the ad frequency. Our cold audiences, we're now 751. When I say cold, it means they haven't taken any action yet on the ads, but they've seen the ads. And then the warm audience is getting 649. So you see such a drastic cost per lead, the more you increase the ad frequency and familiarity. And then from there, the next step here, we're not going to dive too deep into this today, but every single one of these leads that comes through that campaign for a lead magnet, they're going through a 5 to 7 email nurture sequence. Not selling, just increasing the credibility, all right? Pulling items out of that lead magnet and diving deep into them within that email sequence. And then obviously rifling it over to a CRM of sorts. Okay, we like Pipedrive, that's what we use. But yeah, that's how we would do that. And then constantly nurturing them. Because a lot of people that come in through a lead magnet lead, they're not going to be ready to buy necessarily. Like I said, fish on the end of the lure. But over time, you're going to stay top of mind with them through your short nurture sequences and your long nurture sequences, okay? Those monthly newsletters and things like that, okay? So our campaign for us, we got 36 new clients, spent $7,150, and those clients have generated $43,000 in revenue plus, and that continues to increase as they're on a subscription. So it definitely works, and it's funny how many times I get into a conversation with somebody, and I'll leave that conversation after closing the deal, and I'll be like, wow, that was such an easy sale. Little did I know, they've been listening to my podcast for 6 months, they're on our email newsletter list, and they've seen about 3 or 4 of our videos. So it just makes that whole closing process that much easier. And your sales team, if you have a sales team, will appreciate it.